welcome to Positivity, a show that is meant to help women gain confidence through the transitions we face in our everyday life. I'm your host, Dominique Joy, and today's episode is about you. Learn how to love yourself. I'm sure you read a lot of times that you need to love yourself first. But what does that really truly mean? Is it about getting a hot chocolate when you're cold? Or getting a new dress when you feel like it, or basically just doing whatever you want when you want to? Is it about putting on some warm clothes when it's cold outside? Loving yourself means to learn to treat yourself like a loving parent would do their child. When you're an adult, and I assume that you are, you still have an inner child inside of you. That inner child is called your emotions. At that level, you still react like a child of a 3 or 4-year-old. Your emotions cannot get older or mature, but you can. You can learn how to respect them and how to handle them. You can learn how to take care of this inner child that's inside of you. When you are not aware of your inner child, you try to live in an adult world like a 4-year-old little boy or girl. You feel all alone, afraid of the big, nasty world that's outside, not knowing what to do, where to ask for help, or how to protect yourself. This is very difficult and very hard way of doing things. You will always feel afraid, fearful, doubtful, and tired. It is hard to try to survive as a child in a grown-up world. You will feel angry and afraid most of the times, and even lost. But why is that? Well, it's because nobody takes care of that inner child inside of you. Let's say your name is Charlotte, for example. You're 42 years old. And Charlotte, inside of you lives a little girl called Charlotte, the little you, and she's 4. When you're busy in the outside world, taking care of other people, your business, just getting around and doing the thousand things that we do every day, that little girl inside of you will feel overlooked. When you're always running to help others to make sure that their needs are fulfilled, you'll be exhausted every night and cry in your bed. Sometimes you'll even get a temper tantrum. You'll feel angry without any reason. But there actually is one, and it's a big one. All these big emotions are attempts from that inner child to get your attention. Imagine you have, well, besides your own children, a husband and colleges and parents and friends, and that a 4-year-old little girl named Charlotte, but nobody ever notices her. Nobody takes care of her. Whenever she tries to tell you something or get some attention, you shout at her. You tell her to shut up. You say, I have to take care of my parents or work or husband or just any other thing inside the house, that you don't have time for them. And you tell her that I do not have time for you. How do you think that makes her feel? What do you think she will do? First, she'll try to get your attention by showing some big emotions, right? She'll cry a lot and she'll scream and shout, and maybe she'll even start to get a little aggressive from time to time. You think you're angry at the outside world, but it's really that inner child inside of you that's angry, and she's angry with you. She said she's angry because you don't care about her. You act as if she doesn't even exist. Nothing is worse than acting as if your inner child does not exist. This means trying to live as if you don't exist. The worst feeling in the world is being unloyal to oneself. Let me repeat that. The worst feeling in the world is being unloyal to oneself. Nothing is worse than this. How many times do we ignore what we felt to please someone else? How many times do we say to our inner child, shut up, you're not important? The other one is far more important than you are, so go away. I have to take care of my real children. I don't want to hear from you. I don't even want to see you. That sounds pretty bad, right? And we do this every single time. This little child inside of us, what will she do? Well, after a while, she'll just give up. After trying for a long time to show her emotions, she will give up and do nothing. She'll get very tired of all of it and she'll say, it doesn't matter anymore. She doesn't love me. She doesn't want to take care of me. I'm not worth it. And she will become depressed. Of course, you'll think that you get depressed because of other people, because of work and the children or spouse or parents, but it's really nobody's fault. We have to learn how to take care of our inner child, which is suffering from lack of attention. When, after getting depressed, things still don't change, there's one weapon left to catch your attention. This little girl inside of you will all of a sudden become sick. She will get into an accident. Maybe she feels like by doing that, you will finally pay attention to her. This is actually what happens with little children when you think about it, when they want to get your attention. You need to learn how to be a loving parent, but a loving parent to yourself. So, what does that really mean? Well, first, you need to develop an inner mother. Okay. If you were lucky and had a loving and caring mother, you can use her as an example. Otherwise, you will need to, as I always say, fake it until you make it. To create this inner mother, which is your feminine, caring energy, every time you have an emotion, that inner mother should ask that inner child, what happened, my darling? And then listen to what the inner child has to say. Then continue on with the dialogue. The inner mother says, come here, come in my arms. I love you as you are. I love you with what and how you feel. Doing that, the heaviness of the emotions that you have will pretty much drop. Then say these 3 words. I understand you. These words are very important because most of the time we don't feel very normal having the feelings that we have, and we try to ignore or suppress them all the time, which makes them even heavier. I understand, my darling. Come here in your mother's arms because I love you. Stay with these words and feelings for a while and then ask, what do you need? Whatever the child answers, you say, we will ask this of your father. And here starts the task of the inner father. So we have an inner child, and as a child, we need that inner mother. But we also need our inner father, who is there to protect us and to act for us in this big outside world. You'll never send a 4-year-old asking for a raise at work or getting to resolve a conflict at school or with your neighbors, would you? So why would you try it? Send your inner father to take care of whatever you have to do in the outside world. That inner father is called your male energy, which enables you to make decisions, to take action, to follow your inner guidance, which is located within that inner child that we call intuition, and to manifest your child's desires. When your child has a need, for instance, to call someone or to go somewhere to arrange something, imagine that your inner child stays at home with his mother who takes care of his feelings. I understand you are afraid. And that your inner father, another part of your being, goes out there to actually do the act. Your inner father is part of you, which is able to handle stress, to take action, to arrange conflicts, and all other stuff that has to do with the outside world. If that part is missing because you didn't have a good role model when you were little yourself, again, you will have to create and develop it. Of course, your inner child, inner mother, and inner father are all parts of you. It's all you. It's just a model to help you understand what is happening inside of you and how you can learn to love yourself. Loving yourself is listening to that inner child and taking their emotions seriously and understanding what they feel. Take action in the desired direction. Loving yourself is having this dialogue with yourself every morning when you open your eyes and every evening when you go to bed. especially every time you have an emotion. Loving yourself is building a strong inner connection with yourself. It is creating your own loving family inside of you. With that, you will never feel alone anymore because you are three. You are the Trinity. Wherever you go from now on, go with your inner family. You are not alone. You are loved and you are protected. You listen to yourself and take care of that precious little child that has been waiting for so long to get your attention and love. This feeling is called inner healing. Thank you again, everyone, for tuning in. Until next time, peace and blessings.